So we're going to talk a little bit about sketching a part. If you already know CAD drawings, those are fine to do. Formal drafting is fine as well. However, often in the shop, we just need a quick sketch to convey enough information to build the part. It's a bad idea just to keep those ideas in your head and try to remember the numbers. You really do need to write those numbers down, even if it's just a simple part. So very typically we do what's called a shop sketch, and we just need enough information to show how to build this part. So for this particular part, I could do an isometric drawing. Showing the cube, like that. I would then want to indicate the 3 holes along one edge. I want to also include, these are along the center line of the part, so I want to show that in the drawing with a center line. And I need to measure from the center of each of these over to the edge. When you're doing a dimensioning drawing like this, or a sketch, it's important to pick a reference edge. So I'm going to pick this side here, and all of my measurements go from this edge to the next measurement. So for instance, from measuring this before, I know the center of this hole is 0.352 or 352 thousandths from this edge to here. And I want to give myself some sort of indication that it's between these two lines. Also, these are threaded holes. So I'd want to put a leader to the side, and these happen to be 7/16 14 threads. We'll talk about threads later in the class. So in addition to that, I can do the outer dimensions of this block. So 1 inch 500 thousandths is from this line to this line. The overall length of the block is 2.495 thousandths. And so we can start to see we've got enough measurements here for most of the things. However, it's very difficult to show in an isometric drawing that this hole here actually has a countersink and that these 2 holes are threaded and go all the way through the block. We could come in here and try to show hidden lines, but those get very confusing on an isometric. So for this particular part, what I really need is the top view, and I'm just going to rough out a square. You can use a straight edge and be more formal, but again, these are shop drawings. They're really just intended to have enough information so that you remember what you're cutting out on the machine. And this is going to be my reference edge. I've got a hole that goes all the way through. That's this first hole here. And I'm going to indicate those with dotted lines. It's a hidden line all the way through. And this one happens to thread all the way from one side all the way to the other, so I can indicate thread marks by little horizontal or little diagonal hash marks, and I will mark this 7/16 14 threads. The next one is side by side to it, and I need to indicate those with hidden lines as well. So I'll make my dotted lines. This one, however, the threads stop short of the far end. So I'll do my threads here, and then I need to indicate over to the side that those threads stop 500 thousandths from the edge. The last hole has a 600 thousandths hole. So from here to here is 600 thousandths. That's the diameter of this hole. And that goes in approximately ½ an inch. So I can indicate that over to the side as 500 thousandths. And then continues on as a smaller hole that is actually 375 thousandths on through. And again, that should be a hidden line. So I'll make that as a dash. Then we could put our outer dimensions. I might want to make a second drawing. Indicate my holes as hidden lines. And then do my linear measurements from this edge. So first line to center line is 352 thousandths. And then I would want to mark the center line of the next one, indicate it over, center line of the third one, indicate it over. Doing two drawings like this allows me to simplify the dimensions instead of trying to shove them all into one drawing. In addition to this, I can do a simple drawing of the face showing the three holes and indicate all three of these holes are on center line of the block. If the thickness of this block has no critical value, then, in other words, right now it's exactly 1 inch, but it may be 1 1/4 inches, maybe 1.5 inches. All that matters are these three holes are in the center. Indicating center line like this allows you, when you're manufacturing it, when you're actually machining it, to grab a block and go as close as you can to it. Those might not be critical dimensions.